Hello and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me is the person on the planet who's in the solar system in the galaxy that we call, well, Milky Way.
Sarah?
Yes. And today we're doing a review of Earth. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. In Earth, players will create a self-supporting engine of growth, expansion, and supply where even unused plants become compost for future growth. With its encyclopedic nature and the large number of unique cards and combinations, every game allows players to discover new synergies and connections. The player who earns the most points from the myriad of choices wins the game. All right, Will, so why did we buy this?
It looked right up our alley, and it was on Kickstarter, so
I backed it.
Sarah, money, now give me.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Take my money.
Take my stupid money.
Yeah, it just, from the first moment I heard about it, which was probably through social media in some respect, I just knew that this was going to be a really, really good game for us.
Yeah.
So, what do we like about it?
The myriad of choices.
There are so many choices in this game. And it's really neat because it always means that every game is different.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you set up the goals exactly the same, although why would you? But let's just say you did, but you randomized the deck, it would still feel like a completely different game.
Right.
Just because of how those main cards come out.
Right.
But then the fact is you're never using the same set of goals exactly every single time. Because every card there is double-sided. So even if you pulled the same cards, you're like, well, I don't want to play with that particular side. We just played with it. Flip it over. And it's something different.
Yeah, it's what we would call an adaptive strategy.
Yeah.
Because the fauna objectives, those are the animals that tell you what's going to score you big points.
Yeah.
They set up the overall structure, the overall strategy that you're aiming for. But the choices you make are tactical. In other words, we both have to adapt to whatever strategy has been laid out before us.
So that can create some unfortunate issues where, like, one of the goals is get 4 mushrooms. If you never draw a mushroom, you can't complete that goal. So there's a small element there, but I don't feel like it takes away from the enjoyment of the game as a whole.
Yeah, I've learned that, yeah, there are 4 objectives. I don't have to get all of them to win the game. In fact, there was a couple of games I won that I just didn't. I just went for
because you can earn points through other means.
Yes.
Just the cards are worth points, but then even then, some of the cards you put out could say, you know, get 3 points for every tree in this row. So what? You can't draw a mushroom. Get 3 trees out. You just, you know,
9 points.
Got 9 more points. So that's really cool. I think we've talked about a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, this just really doesn't feel like anything out there. I mean, again, I've read some of the designer diaries, and the designers were really inspired by a lot of the well-known engine builders out there.
Yes.
But even when you compare this to each of those individual ones, it's not exactly the same. It's definitely taken inspiration, but it's grown.
Yes, it sets itself apart by how it's all put together, how it comes together, how it plays from game to game. It's its own creature.
Yeah, I just really like how open it is. So yes, you have these goals, and yes, you have to make a 4x4 grid. But even like you put your first card down, the next cards you place, you have 8 options, right? 8.
Yes.
Not just the
diagonals,
right? You have the diagonals,
orthogonals.
right? So you're not stuck to just, oh, I got to put it left or right or above or below. I can only do 4 spaces. You can start doing things diagonal. So if you get certain not goal cards, but goals in your hand. So like you want to try to get a column of this or a row of that,
or things diagonal to this thing.
Right. So you can really start setting it up and building out the structure of your, I forgot what they call it. I think it's just your island. You're kind of building up your own.
Yeah. Well, because you start with an island card and a climate card, so it's your island on the planet Earth.
Right. And so you can really have a lot of room to grow and build things the way you want, and you're not stuck with, okay, it has to be this place and then it has to be that place, that kind of thing. The other thing that was really interesting, and this has never happened to us before, it was on Board Game Arena before we got our physical copy. And then I learned how to play it doing the solo on Board Game Arena. And then I taught it to you, Will. And then we taught it to our friends. And now we're playing constantly with our friends. And then we finally got this. So I think I had 4 or 5 games of this on Board Game Arena under my belt before getting the physical. And we've never had that experience. And the thing is, I think I learned it better through Board Game Arena, because not just because of the computer reinforcing the rules, but the interface gives you so much information.
Yeah, there's another game that we learned recently, and game after game, we would stop and realize
kept doing something wrong.
We did something wrong. So we didn't have that problem with Earth from her learning on Board Game Arena.
Yeah.
It is important to note, though, if you are going to Board Game Arena, this is a premium game, so it does require the $20 a year subscription to BGA in order to play it.
Or find a community where you can find someone else to set it up, because
some other schmuck.
Yeah, because you only need one person with a premium account, and you can invite non-premium account members to that table. So there's lots of Discords you can join where they do that kind of coordination.
Yeah.
Wow, I think we covered a lot of what we really like about the game. So there are some things that we don't like about the game. It does have a steep learning curve, and I think it would have been a bit more difficult for us if it hadn't been for the Board Game Arena implementation.
Yeah, if anyone's familiar with Race for the Galaxy, I think it's comparable. Because like in Race for the Galaxy, you look at a card and it's just filled with icons, filled with information. This is the same type of thing. You look at a card and you're like, oh, okay, there's a snowflake, there's a mushroom, there's a number up here with an arrow pointing to this number over here, and there's points over here, and there's dirt over here, and there's an ability down here, and it's colored, and there's spaces with leaves, and I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
And then in the title, it could be underlined or italics. So there's a lot of information. The good news is I do feel it has more cohesiveness than Race for the Galaxy. I really feel with Race for the Galaxy, there's a lot of uniqueness. Like, this is the only card that has this ability.
And it only operates this way.
Right. Here, you don't have that much uniqueness. So you're going to have things that repeat throughout a lot of the cards. But the really great part is just, there's a lot of information, but there's a lot of it you can just ignore.
Yeah.
Because if you don't need to know whether a card has a snowflake on it, you can just literally ignore that icon.
Yeah.
But
and all the italicized and underlined, they're just there as aids if something else calls out for it.
So there might be a goal that says so many cards that have a color in the name.
Those are italicized.
Right.
So many cards with animals in the name. Those are underlined.
Exactly.
Otherwise, ignore them.
Yeah. So, but the thing though is you have to learn that you can ignore a lot of the information. So that's a kind of weird aspect of it. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the physical copy, there are some component quality issues. They did not put silica packets in the box, so the boards are warped. Some people have had worse issues than others, so you're going to have to find a method for flattening them.
Yeah, cards warped, boards warped.
Yeah. Also, and we talked a bit more about this in our Rolling with Two under just the accessibility, because you're going to be moving cubes, the what do they call them? Sprout?
Yeah, sprout
cubes. But also the growth pieces around. So there's a lot of handling of these. And the biggest problem with the growth pieces is they're not all cut evenly. So if you're only stacking 1, 2, maybe 3, you're going to be fine. But if you start getting up to 4, 5, and 6, and you don't have the bottom ones as an even base, they will start to lean, and they possibly could fall over really easily if the table gets knocked.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem on the Board Game Arena implementation.
Yeah, it handles that. So you can replace it with a D6.
Yeah, so a lot of people have replaced those. Since we haven't seen any that need more than 6 growth pieces, just replace it with a D6.
Yeah.
There's also some vision issues, some colorblind accessibility with the red and the green colors for the abilities, and some black on red. So watch our Rolling with Two for more details on that.
Yeah, because we really dug into that.
Yes. And I think it's just going to be one of those things that we may actually prefer to just keep playing this on Board Game Arena than actually pull this off the shelf.
I think I don't mind playing it as a 2-player game.
Right.
In person. Because it also does take up a lot of room. The boards themselves, where you hold a lot of your information, is pretty sizable.
Yeah.
Throw a 4x4 grid for yourself, that gets even more. Each player having one, that's the rest of the table.
Yeah, so for us, I can see pulling this out as a 2-player game in person. But when it comes to teaching it to friends, I might just be like, hey, why don't we just start up a game on Board Game Arena? And that way, you know, we can play it over time. Or even we can schedule a night so we can chat on, you know, FaceTime or Discord or something. And we'll just play it digitally and still have a really good time that way.
Yeah.
Okay, who is this for?
Now, I think you can teach intermediate gamers this game.
Yes.
They may take a few games to get acclimatized.
And I would highly recommend sticking to the beginner game first.
Yes.
For several games, probably.
In fact, I don't think you'll even want to go to the standard game.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in my review part.
Yeah. But definitely the hardcore gamers.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to this game, and I think a lot of hardcore gamers are really going to appreciate just everything that's in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And, you know, just in general, if you like tableau building and you like engine building, you should check this out. Again, play it on Board Game Arena before buying it, because it's just not like any of the other ones out there that are very popular.
Yeah.
All right, then I guess we should go on to our rating.
Yeah, speaking of our ratings, we're interested to hear. We each get 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number, a reason why, add them together, and see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did Earth roll for you?
It rolled a 6. I just really, really love everything that's in here. I love that it's on Board Game Arena. I love all the choices. Now, I will say, I do look forward to playing the physical version only because you can't house rule Board Game Arena. So there's a difference between the beginner and the standard, and there's a reason I really like the beginner is because it lessens a lot of the race to the finish aspects that I really don't like. So like the goals in the beginner, everybody just gets 10 points if you achieve a goal. But in the standard, it's race to those goals. Whoever gets there first gets 15 points. And then I want to say it's like 12, and it goes down from there. The other problem there is the tiebreaker rules are from turn order.
From the active player.
From the active player. So there's not friendly ties. Like if multiple people in the same turn achieve a goal, they don't all just get the same points like a lot of games do. This one actually says whoever's the active player gets the highest points, and then so on. Well, we had a 4-player game the other day where 3 people got one of the goals. Now we were playing the beginner, so everyone got 10 points. But if we hadn't, the active player would have got 15, the next person 12, and then I think the next one it's 10. That's a huge disparity of points for people who completed it basically at the same time.
Well, that game that you're talking about, we did see that happen because when you finish your 4x4 grid, if you're the first to do that, you get 7 points.
That's true.
2 people did it at the same time. I was sitting closest to the active player. I got the tiebreaker. I got the 7 points.
Right. I just don't like that. So I think for me, there's some house rule things that I would do where I would do the friendly ties for both the end game and the goals. The other thing is, the standard adds these ecosystem cards, but it adds 3. 1 personal, 2 public, and it's just a bit too much for my brain to have 4 animal cards with goals that everyone's going for. 2, now most of these ecosystem cards are spatial. Not all of them, but a lot of them are try to get this thing in this column or this row, or do a line of things, you know, so you can trace a line through stuff. It's just a bit too much for my brain to comprehend. Now, Will's telling me, well, you don't have to do everything. I know that. I wish I could tell my brain that.
You don't know that.
So me, I would house rule it that I would pretty much play the beginner game. So everybody's getting 10 points. One of those personal goals. So everyone has one ecosystem card they're trying to go for. And then friendly ties. And that's how I would play basically the physical version. And so the downside is I can't change that on Board Game Arena unless somebody, well, maybe I should go and suggest it and see if they'll allow house ruling. I don't know. I could give it a shot. But anyways, regardless, I think this is a 6. I will probably always ask to play the beginner version, especially on Board Game Arena. But I will also try to play standard if someone really wants to play standard.
All right. I give it a 5.
Ooh.
It has nothing to do with the gameplay. It has everything to do with the production.
Yeah, my 6 kind of ignores the production.
Yeah, there are elements in here. Now, we got the Kickstarter version, so we got the extra dirt pieces. Those dirt pieces don't feel like anything else in the game, so they kind of feel like they're in the wrong game.
Yeah.
Then you have, the boards warping. You have the problems with the stacking pieces because they're machined wood, so they have natural flaws in them. And going up 6 high, well, that's just obviously going to cause a problem. It's for as good as the game is, it's almost like they didn't give the same treatment to the end product. And that's what bothered me.
No, I completely agree. My 6 is 100% influenced by the fact that I learned the game on Board Game Arena. It is available to play on Board Game Arena, and I will continue to play it on Board Game Arena.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I had to make a rating just on the physical game, I would probably give it a 5 as well. Because I would not enjoy it as much to have to handle these poor quality components.
Yeah.
And I would also say, as much as I like the rule organization, they didn't do a comprehensive component list. They listed the names of the components, but not the quantities. And that's a big no-no.
Especially considering how much there is in here. It would be good to have all that. So this game is better than how it's produced.
Yes, this game, like I said, I think I told someone this. I feel like they spent 95% of their energy designing the game and 5% producing the game. Which I generally don't mind, but it does take away from it.
Yes. And that's not to say there aren't bad ideas in how this game is produced. It has some really clever things, like the italicized and the underlining of stuff. That's an easy, nice thing that most people won't do.
Yeah.
But it's here. It's just, there are still things that just feel overlooked.
Yeah, or just not quite developed enough. They didn't do enough testing, like trying to do patterns in the back of the color boxes, but they're just not visible. So it's just, they tried, but unfortunately several things just failed.
Yes. So that's where it gets knocked down. Otherwise, fantastic game.
Yep.
So 11 out of 12. This
is nearly a perfect game.
Yes. I mean, given how much we complain about it and how much we love it, this score kind of tells you that.
Yeah.
This game overcomes its production issues.
Yes, agreed.
All right. Well, that will do it for us. And Sarah.
Yes.
Are you a god?
I don't feel like we're gods playing this game. It feels... I don't know. I can't even say that we're nature spirits, because there's certainly games out there that are like, oh, you're a nature spirit and you're, forming the land and stuff. I don't know. It feels more like I'm discovering. It really does. It doesn't feel so... I mean, yes, I'm making the choices to put the cards where I'm putting them.
Right.
But
and satisfying the animals.
Yes, and satisfying the animals. But it feels a bit more like I am exploring and discovering this land and seeing how best these things work with each other. Again, like those things that say get extra points if you put trees in the row. Well, it's because that particular terrain is really good for trees. So of course you'd want trees there. So that's me. What about you? Do you?
I am a god. Small g.
Oh, okay, small g.
Yes.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
And we've been Rolling with Reviews. And remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with Two. That's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And if you have time, check out the other content Nanoman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.